and welcome to Ask Google Ads Expert Anything. I'm going to be joined shortly by Liam from clique.agency in Australia. So if you're watching this replay later, fast forward a few minutes and let's see if I can invite him to be my co-host. Hey Liam, I see you there. I want you to be my co-host. Well, first I'll invite you as a guest and then we'll see what we can do from there. And hi, Shop Illuminated Faith. Hi, I'm seeing so many familiar faces. We are really excited to dive into Google Ads with you this evening for me and this morning for Liam. We are on opposite ends of the world, but we both love Google Ads. And so that's what we are here to speak to you about together this evening. I'm really excited because it is rare that I get to meet other Google Ads experts and get to talk shop with them. And so I'll get to watch us do that. And then, of course, ask us any questions you might have for us. So we're just going to wait for Liam to come live with me right now. And in the meantime, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask us in the comments. We are here to answer your questions. Thank you so much for the likes. We really appreciate that. Okay. Let's see if we can figure out the tech here for everybody. Okay, I've invited Liam. So Liam, if you can see this, you've been invited to join the live. So for those who may not know us, my name is Jill. I used to work at Google for 6 years, and now I am a consultant, coach, and teacher. So I teach people how to run Google Ads, whether you're a business owner or a marketer. And then I also teach. I actually taught for 3 hours today at Jelly Academy. And I'm seeing a notification here. It says, there we go. And he's live from Australia.
Hello, how are we doing?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm going great. Thanks for asking. Pretty excited to kind of jump on here.
I'm really excited as well. So, for those who may not know, Liam, well, actually, this is the first time we're speaking. We exchanged a few emails to set this up, but we saw each other's content on TikTok, and it's rare to see other Google Ads experts on TikTok. And so, we wanted to get together here this evening for me and this morning for you to talk all things Google Ads. So, thank you for joining me.
So it is super exciting to go ahead and talk to somebody else, just especially in such a remote world these days. People are so far away from each other, so it is really rare that I get to talk to somebody else in the kind of space. So it's cool. It's definitely exciting to be here.
Wonderful. Well, I thought we could start if you want to just a quick intro, who you are and what you do. I'll do an intro what I do. And then if people have questions, please type them in the chat. And otherwise, I know I have lots of things I would love to talk to Liam about. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself first?
Yeah, so I own a marketing agency, a Google Ads agency called clique.agency, based on the Gold Coast, Australia. But we are building a remote team, so I'm the only one located within Australia. I've been lucky enough to actually pick up some ex-Googlers like yourself, Jill, and so they're working on my team, and we're just kind of bringing some kick-ass results for our clients, which is pretty cool. So all we focus in on is Google Ads. But it's kind of a long story coming around. I used to be a business owner. I used to import ATMs out of Korea, put them into bars, nightclubs, that kind of thing. It was super cool. But my biggest struggle was actually finding clients and selling the clients. And that what's kind of got me into this Google Ads kind of space, because I was like, okay, cool. I need to figure out this client acquisition thing. And then I'm like, okay, cool. This is really powerful. I want to help do this for other people as well.
That's so cool. So you started using Google Ads as a way to grow your own business, and then you're like, maybe running Google Ads is the business.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, good going a long way around it, but yes, that's what happened. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Very cool. And when did you get started creating content on TikTok?
So I've been going for probably on about a year now. I've been extremely lucky. A lot of my clients have actually found me through TikTok, and that's kind of it's quite amazing the amount of people and the amount of reach that you can actually get. You can post a single TikTok and it can be seen by 100,000 or 500,000 people in an instant, and then you get 5, 10, 15 people actually hit you up and say, hey, come work for us. So I've been extremely lucky with that. So yeah, it's cool.
Great. So good to hear. Today's actually my 1 year anniversary of my first ever TikTok, and I've also gotten a bunch of clients from here. So for those who don't know me, I'm Jill. I used to work at Google, and now I am a digital marketing consultant, coach, and teacher. So I do not run Google ads for people, although that's the number one request I get when people do reach out to me from TikTok. But I teach people how to manage their own Google ads. I teach at digital marketing schools. I coach marketing teams, kind of teaching people how to fish. So that is that. I saw I had one question that I'm going to go back to for a sec from Hustle Grind Skate. If I run search ads and I check on the settings for search and display partners, can I see a report of the placements where my search ads were displayed? The answer to that is no. You can see what's served in search partners and what's served in Google search, but you don't know what those partners are, unless Liam, you know a secret that I don't.
No, no, I don't think I actually do. What I would kind of recommend is actually segmenting it out. There's a little segment button that you can go at the campaign level, and then you can go it by the different networks, and you can actually see if it's performing for you or not. It's definitely a good way to kind of capture that traffic, but you kind of want to have a good mindset about it and make sure it's actually profitable for you. So turn it on for a little bit, maybe leave it running for a month and see if actually some clicks, some conversions come through. But if it's not working for you, just switch it off and keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. And so if others have questions, please feel free to drop it in. But now that I get to be in the room virtually with another Google Ads expert, I would love to know if you have been running any Performance Max campaigns, Liam, and if
I
so, what you think of them.
I have been. I've loved it. It's super exciting to kind of take this full funnel approach towards advertising because it's pushing traffic towards the 7 different networks essentially. You've got Gmail, you've got YouTube, you've got display, you've got shopping in there. I've noticed it works a hell of a lot better for e-commerce on that side. I
Thing, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really had any good lead gen accounts kind of go up there, but we're kind of building out those accounts anyway, and it's really cool to kind of see what a Google Pro like yourself would actually kind of set up naturally in an account, be done by one single campaign. But kind of recommendation for anybody: have enough budget behind it to go ahead and spill it out into all those different kind of networks, because otherwise you're just going to choke it and it's never going to work for you. So got to make sure you at least $100 a day on budget. So
$100 a day is what you're recommending to people as a minimum for Performance Max.
yeah, so that's what I'm kind of recommending, just because kind of you've got your search, your remarketing, you've got your different shopping and everything like that. If it's anything underneath that $100 a day within my agency, I haven't really seen the results. There is that kind of 4 or 5 week rocky period at the very start, but to get past that, it's kind of happy days.
And I guess that's the harder part for small business owners is they have a smaller budget, and the 3 to 4 weeks you just have to get past is a lot harder to stomach when you have less money to spend as
Yeah, definitely.
well. And so curious, so whenever people ask me how much money do I need to spend on Google Ads, I always say that a bare minimum is $200, sorry, $20 a day for at least 30 days as like a bare minimum floor. But I just made that up. So I'm curious, how do you answer when people ask you, like, what's the bare minimum budget for Google Ads?
So I've worked I used to work in an agency called Disrupt Digital within Australia here. Now they were one of the largest Google Ads agency within Australia, and they're literally their floor price. They wouldn't take anybody on unless they were running $20 a day at a bare minimum. They were mass volume. They had probably 2,000, 2,500 clients at any one time.
No
So
scale. Yeah.
quite a large agency, but it really depends on how much you're actually traffic you're kind of trying to capture. If you're just running a single brand campaign and like a prospecting campaign, just on search, $20 a day should be suffice to go ahead and get your feet wet and make you feel a bit more comfortable with the system and how it actually works. And then from there, as soon as you start to see the leads and the sales come through, that's when you slowly start to scale it up. I don't think there's any hard or fast kind of number you can say, this is it, this is the bare
Yeah.
minimum. It's more about what you feel comfortable losing for the first few months, because it could definitely lose, so.
Absolutely could. And that's also, this really big balancing act is like you need to spend enough so that like the machine learning can start to learn and do its thing. And so you can figure out what works, but like not so much that if it doesn't work, it kills your business.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We've got some questions in here.
Let's see. There's one that's not on the Google Ads topic, so sorry, History Enforcer. We're going to skip that one a little bit. Hustle Grinds Kate is saying, I tried Performance Max for B2B and had a hard time getting delivery. I've run Performance Max for B2B as well, for lead gen, I should say. And here's the Performance Max campaign performed well. Like the only conversion tracking that account had is, does someone fill out the lead form or not? And so from that perspective, it drove amazing lead volume. Was the quality there? No, it wasn't piss poor, but like it wasn't as good as I'd want it to be. But I don't fault Performance Max for that. That's on the conversion tracking for not being set up. What you ideally want to do is feed back into Google Ads which clicks, which leads turned out to be quality versus not, and we didn't have that in place. So that was why I didn't want to scale it up, even though objectively it was like the best CPAs we'd ever seen.
Well, there's been some cool things that we've actually been doing within the agency here for some of our lead gen clients, around all those spam clicks that kind of come through and people that are just like really low quality leads. In on your lead form, you want to have a few questions in there, so it goes ahead and weeds out all those smaller people. But there will always be that one question, and sometimes it's around budget, or it could be this, that, or whatever service. And what you actually want to do is split out your form. So if they answer the right question and say your budget's over $10,000 a month, we'll send them to thank you page A. And then if it's under $10,000 a month, you send them to thank you page B. And so you're only sending the conversions back of the leads that are qualified. Now you can go ahead and send the other leads back to Google, but you don't want to include them in your optimization. So there's a little checkbox that you can tick off. And so you make sure you're only optimizing towards qualified leads, which is super cool. And I can definitely find that helps build up that quality of leads, because there are people that just go out onto the internet and just fill out forms.
Who are these people?
Doing with you.
But they do.
Yeah.
So true. There was a question here that a commenter has answered that yes, the big promotion we've been seeing, at least in North America, is the $600 ad credit. But the way Google Ads credit always works is whatever the credit is, you have to spend that first. So yay, $600, but you have to spend $600 to get $600. So it used to be like $150, but you only had to spend $150 to get the $150. Is there a similar promo in Australia right now?
Yeah, so it is $600 at the same time here, which is pretty cool. Same thing. We had it down. It was like $100 and $150 for quite a while, and that was like for 3 or 4 years that they were kind of promoting that. Now, I did see that in America there was this period of time. It was like 2-3 months around COVID where they were actually giving away $1,000 of ad spend for free, which was pretty cool. But
Wow.
obviously, spend that over, I think it's a 3-month period that they gave you. But yeah, it's pretty exciting to go ahead and help bring on these new people into Google Ads, which is super exciting. But you just definitely want to make sure you stay away from those smart campaigns, because those are a killer and you'll definitely waste your dollars.
Well, killer. And just a smart campaign, when you first create a Google Ads account, it automatically forces you to create a smart campaign. And a
Yeah.
smart campaign is what I call a dumb campaign. I hate those things too. It's not a real search campaign, but they make it seem like it is. It's like,
Yeah.
um,
There's so many times that I've gone ahead and jumped into an account, and they'll still be on the smart campaign, and they'll be spending 10, 20 grand, and I'm like, okay, cool. We have no control over this kind of system at the moment. We can't even see where your dollars and cents are kind of being spent. Like if we switch you over to this expert mode, we can actually go ahead and squeeze every bit of juice out of this lime for you. So
absolutely. And there's a GA4 question here. I'm starting to set up GA4, but I can't see it inside Google Ads. Am I doing it wrong? But with UA, you can. So Google Analytics and Google Ads play very nicely together, but you have to link them together. So you may have set up GA4, but you have to actually link GA4 to Google Ads in order to then see that data in there as well. And instead of having bounce rate and time on site, instead GA4 has engagement rate and engaged time on site. So it's a little bit different. How's that been working for you in your agency, Liam? Do you help clients with Google Analytics or Google Tag Manager, or like just Google Ads and that's it?
So we do go ahead and scratch the surface on Google Analytics. We make sure it's actually set up correctly as we're kind of onboarding somebody. We do Google Tag Manager for all the conversion tracking, those kind of things, which is pretty much the nicest way to do it. But when we're kind of setting up our accounts and kind of auditing them, we'll make sure that we've got both conversion tracking coming from UA and Google Ads at the same time, and then we can kind of compare the metrics. 90% of the time, just the baseline Google Ads conversion tracking works best, but you always want to kind of compare those two metrics just to make sure that there's nothing funny kind of happening on your website or anything like that. Now, I haven't actually played around with GA for too much yet. I feel like it's definitely in the future we will kind of venture out into that, but I've been in a few accounts and there just is not enough kind of things to actually play around with compared to UA, you know.
It's tricky to get used to. I'm trying to force myself whenever I have something I want to check Google Analytics for, I force myself to check my GA4 first because I have them both installed on my website and my course platform now. And I try to answer my question with GA4. And I'd say 50% of the time I give up and I go back to UA, but I try as much as I can to get used to it. The engagement metrics are cool. The fact that you can track clicks or like video views just like as an event, as a conversion without needing Google Tag Manager is pretty cool. It's supposed to do cross-device much better. I haven't really dug into that a ton yet, so promising. But we are all struggling with GA4. I see that in the comment. Yeah, we are all struggling. Absolutely.
I think I think
Something else I would love to ask you. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just think it's that we've been so used to universal analytics for so long, and we've been using it for so long that we're like, oh, what is this new interface? But I feel like there's a little bit of dumbing down of everything. They're making it more user friendly for the end consumer, which is great. And that's what I kind of want to see at the end of the day is more people being able to use these tools to help grow their own businesses. So
That's the goal of it all. I say we talked a little bit about Performance Max earlier, how we're both using it, liking it for e-commerce. We both hate smart campaigns. I would love to hear your thoughts about broad match keywords and whether or not you use them and what's your opinion on them. I'm hitting on all the polarizing topics for PPC experts.
uh, broad match is good, but in a controlled environment.
Okay, tell me
Um,
more.
yeah, so I would usually start out a campaign using a lot of phrase and exact match but if we're kind of maxing out on all that traffic, all the search terms are actually looking really nice. We're getting no irrelevant clicks coming through, and you do want to kind of find those outlying topics just to kind of squeeze some more leads or sales coming through at the end of the day. I would actually start out its own campaign with its own dedicated budget and set it to just broad match keywords and kind of import the negative keyword list so we're not getting kind of anything that we've already figured out previously, and just kind of watch it like a hawk. Just sit on that account every single day, go through those search terms and actually find those keywords that are really performing that you never would have thought about, and import them back into that original campaign. Maybe you're just throwing $5, $10 a day at this broad match campaign. Now I have had some good experiences actually getting accounts from people where they've just put broad match in by mistake, and it's one of the highest performing actually keywords in there. And that's 100% fine. If that's kind of already working, I'm just going to leave it in there. I just kind of check those search terms religiously. I feel like the AI, the magical Google AI that's out there, after a while, it kind of figures out what actually converts. And so we eventually get down the line to, an 8-week kind of period. And it just kind of latches on to who they actually know will convert.
I actually have a very similar approach to you. If I am auditing an account or looking at an account with a business owner and they're already using Broadmatch and it's performing well, then I'll say, like, look, a lot of people would not adopt this strategy, but you're already doing it. It's working for you. It's not broke. Let's not fix it. And I like your idea of sort of the phishing campaign, as you call it. I normally use like a dynamic ad group for that, dynamic search ads rather than Broadmatch, but I agree, it's a great way to find stuff you might never think of as being a keyword, but that actually is really relevant for your business and driving incremental traffic. So, okay, we don't have a Broadmatch hater, we don't have a Broadmatch lover, we have a Broadmatch cautious adopter.
Yeah. Cautious, very cautious. You know what I mean? I'm scared of wasted ad spend because that's what 90% of people come to me to fix. And so I want to make sure that we're not wasting any ad spend in any of my accounts.
Absolutely. And so Joe actually said here, would you run an ad campaign for a business? Send me prices. Joe, you can drop into Liam's DMs if you'd like to hire him to run campaigns for you. And then a follow-up question for Joe, any advice for a pest control company to run an ad campaign? And we have another request similar after a different business. So a pest control company, what
Cool.
would we recommend?
I'm actually running a pest control company out of Sydney at the current moment. It's spending about 10 grand a month. If you've been in business for any kind of period of time, pest control companies will be able to kind of spend those dollars. We're actually seeing some really good conversion rates. We're at 31.58% conversion rate at this current moment over the last 30 days. Your clicks are going to be around $6, but that's in Sydney. Can be different all over the world, obviously like that. For that 10 grand, we're getting about 500 conversions a month, which is turning into leads, which is pretty cool. Biggest thing is you want to put them into kind of a squeeze page, and that's what we've kind of found works best. And you keep on iterating your messaging on this landing page until you kind of find what works. What I've personally found what works is money back guarantees, and people are really concerned about if it's safe for pets or children, small children. So just having messaging on your landing page about that, but feel free to jump into my DMs. I can show you a landing page which has already been really optimized, and you can kind of steal that and kind of use it for your own business.
Yeah, that's an awesome offer. And here, I'll take this next one. I want to sell, Crazy in the USA says, I want to sell 300,000 copies of an ebook I just wrote. Any advice? I mean, I wouldn't go straight to Google Ads to achieve that. If you can create some great TikTok content and get out there, book talk is a real thing. If wanting to use Google Ads, I might recommend something like YouTube rather than search ads, because I don't think people are probably like waking up in the morning and searching for whatever your ebook's about. It's probably not a solution to a problem. So you need to proactively get in front of them and entice them. And because there's so many ebooks out there, using kind of the sight, sound, emotion of video would be a great way to get just that really wide reach quickly and introducing and engaging people more. I don't know. What do you think, Liam? Other ideas for selling an ebook?
I would start on social or YouTube or something along those lines rather than going to Google. Google is beautiful for bottom of funnel, but it's really hard to go ahead and generate interest. You cannot go ahead and force somebody to search for what you're selling, So you might be able to go ahead and find some keywords out there, but if your goal is 300,000 downloads, it's a big number. So I would definitely start with other kind of methods of reaching out before kind of utilizing Google Ads.
Yeah, for something like that, organic first and paid should follow. So if you're posting on TikTok or posting YouTube videos or posting on Instagram, and then some piece of content takes off, then start putting some ad dollars behind that content that's really working to get it to reach more people.
Yeah, definitely.
Question here from Yudi, views on Max performance campaign, ? Not sure what the question is there, so why don't you give us a bit more detail. We have two people here who are both trying to reach business owners. Samir has a WooCommerce plugin. Samir wants to drive downloads. And then DrumJ designs fashion for retail stores, B2B, wants to target business owners. So let's broaden this a bit for everyone, because I know a lot of people want to advertise B2B, but specifically they're trying to reach business owners or small business owners. What are kind of one or two ways that you would suggest people reach small business owners through Google Ads? And I'll share some ideas as well.
There's definitely ways to go ahead and reach these small business owners. You can always do a whole bunch of keyword research and try to find what people are actually searching for. You'd be quite surprised. People will literally type into Google X product for business owners or X product for small business owners. Those kind of keywords are your kind of golden nuggets, and you want to be kind of capturing that traffic. But it sounds like there's a lot of more audience targeting that you're actually trying to get to. And that's where social can actually be great. I'm definitely not against social, but it is definitely a harder slog than doing Google Ads, because Google Ads is focusing all on that bottom of the funnel traffic. Yeah.
Yeah, some audiences, if you're trying to reach small business owners through audience targeting and you want to do it in Google Ads, a few things that I like to do, especially for Samir who has a WooCommerce plugin, is you can create a custom audience in Google Ads based on either things people have searched for or websites they visit or apps they have on their phone. So one that I like to do is I will create an audience of people who have apps on their phone, like the Shopify app, the WooCommerce app, the Wix Stores app, because that suggests that they're an e-commerce business owner. Otherwise, why would they have the app on their phone? And then you can reach those people on YouTube or Discovery. So that's one of my little, I don't want to say it's a hack. It's like a very common feature of Google Ads, but a lot of people don't know that you can do that. So that's something that that I recommend for reaching small business owners. And then not even thinking that creatively, Google has pre-built audiences for people who have just started a business. It's called Business Creation Life Event. And so that can be another good one to target, people who have recently started a business.
Yeah, that's definitely a banger of a hack.
Yeah. I know, kind of like, this hack, do the thing the way it was designed to be done. There's a hack for you.
I'm not scared of using the word hack at all. I definitely use that.
I've noticed that. It works. Yeah.
They want the tips and the tricks,
Exactly. Well, I guess on that note, what are some of your favorite hacks? Like if someone's like, okay, tell me something about Google Ads. I don't know. Like what are some of Liam's best Google Ads hacks? Let's hear it.
All right. So my biggest one for e-commerce, this is for the e-commerce clients out there. DSA plus RLSA. So that's a dynamic search ads with a remarketing list attached to that. So essentially what you can do is get people in on branding campaigns, on shopping campaigns, or even a Performance Max campaign, and bring them into your website. And as soon as they start interacting with your products, it goes ahead and tags those users. And then this DSA plus RLSA campaign will go out onto the Google search platform and kind of sit out there and just wait for somebody that's been to your website already and then to type something else that's already on your website. So it's bringing these people back into your website for cents on the dollar, essentially. We use that across pretty much all our e-commerce clients, and it really gets conversions. It really gets conversions. So yeah, that's number one.
I remember that was a big, you mentioned you have some ex-Googlers who work in your agency, and I remember a few years ago that was like a big thing, pitching to everyone. But by the way, it's still a good thing today. I'm not like, well, that was when I first started hearing about that, and it's a great tactic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Something related to that I also recommend is sometimes people want to do what we call a conquesting campaign, where you advertise when people are searching for your competitors, but it can be really expensive to do so. So conquesting plus RLSA can be effective, because that means you only want to advertise when people are searching for your competitors if that person's already been to your website before. So you're not trying to take someone who's never heard about you and try to convert them on a competitor keyword, but if they have been to your website before and they're scoping out the competition, then you want to show an ad there to try to bring them back.
And on top of that, you want to send them to like a comparison page. You want it to be like your service versus their service, because that'll increase your quality score and make your cost per clicks cheaper. Because if you're just sending them straight to your homepage and the only thing you've changed is a bit of ad copy, you're going to have a really low quality score because you're not being seen as relevant, and your cost per click is going to be through the roof. So throwing that little comparison page on top will really make that stuff on fire.
Such a good point, Liam, because I think people are often scared to do these like hardcore comparison pages where it's not just like us and the other guys, like naming your competitors, showing why you're better and why they should pick you. And like you can absolutely do that. It is legal. Here's a hack that feels illegal to know. Like it's totally legal to do that. And again, if someone was searching for your competitor, it's not enough for them to just click on the ad. That's just them walking in your front door. That's not them purchasing from you. You need to continue to guide them along like that. So excellent addition there.
They're literally naturally doing that anyway within their own head. And you're just you're just showing the information for them in a nice website. And it makes them more likely to actually pick you. So definitely recommend that.
Oh yeah. DrumJ asked to re-summarize the whole B2B targeting thing. This whole replay is going to be up on my YouTube channel. I'll post it like within half an hour after we're done. So you can go watch that part again to see how we talked about how to reach B2B audiences on Google. Hustle Grind Skate wants to know, how do you improve expected click-through rate? Expected click-through rate is one part of quality score, right? Yes, expected click-through rate is one part of quality score, and actually Google says the most important part of quality score. And all that means, by the way, is just, are people clicking on your ad? If Google's going to show your ad, are people going to click on it? Because of course, Google only makes money when people click on the ads, and you as an advertiser only get traffic when people click on ads. And then users, although everyone claims they don't click on ads, people like to click on ads when it's showing them something that's really relevant. And the best predictor of your expected click-through rate is your historical click-through rate. So when people ask me how to improve click-through rate, the two things I talk about are you showing your ads to the right people, and is creative enticing enough to them? Because if you're not showing ads to the right people, they won't click on your ad. And then even if you're reaching the right people, your ad has to convince them that they should click on yours versus someone else's. So those are the two things I tell people, is just look, if your click-through rate is not good, your expected click-through rate is not good, revisit your targeting, your keywords or your audiences. Is it the right thing? And your negatives and exclusions alongside that, and then revisit your ad. Just because you have an excellent ad strength, it doesn't mean you actually have an excellent ad. You have to have really strong copy that convinces people to click.
Yeah, what I can definitely recommend on that is to actually go out onto the search engine and Google what keywords you're actually presenting on. You want to be looking at your competitors, their ad copy, and seeing how they're addressing the market. And you want to go through each headline, each description, each site link, extension, absolutely everything, and kind of see how you can one up everybody else. Because there's all too often I come into brand new accounts or accounts that have been running for years, and it's just bland ad copy and it's not enticing at all. Hey, we're 5 stars since 1973. Who gives a damn? Nobody gives a damn. What is in it for that end user? You know, let's take this pest control company, for example. If it's a pest control, they don't care how long you've been in business for. They've got a spider in their room and they want to get rid of it now. You know, so you have to go ahead and have enticing ad copy on there. But I would definitely recommend just spending some time on the actual search results. People spend way too much time in the back end of Google playing with all the buttons and settings, and they feel like they're in a silo when you're really competing against all these other people in the world, and you want to make sure that you're the number one up there.
Oh, yes. And I like to also look at the organic results. Don't just look at the other ads, but you're also competing against the organic. So look for your keywords, look at the organic headlines and meta descriptions that SEO experts somewhere have worked on, and see if you get some inspiration from there as well. Yudi asks, what is the best bidding strategy for an e-commerce business? For e-commerce businesses, I generally recommend either maximize conversion value or target ROAS, because that's how you tell Google that you don't just care if a conversion happened or not, but you want the most valuable conversions, so people who are going to spend the most money. And that's worth more to you if someone spends $200 versus someone spends $100. So depending on what level of sophistication we're dealing with, kind of earlier e-commerce businesses, I'll say maximize conversion value. More sophisticated e-commerce businesses, I'll go with target ROAS. What do you say, Liam? Is that also what you would recommend for e-commerce business bid strategy?
I would kind of throw a spanner in the works for you.
Feel free to disagree, by the way. I love disagreement.
So what I would kind of recommend is to start off with like a max conversions for e-commerce. And then after you're getting about 30 to 50 conversions a month over a 30-day period, that's when you kind of start to turn on those target ROAS or a target CPA or anything like that. I've found if you go straight from no traffic at all and then throwing on a limiter like a target ROAS or anything like that, you're going to just die. You're not going to get any traffic come through. You're not going to get any conversions, and you're just going to waste all that money. So you want to kind of teach this AI for a little bit and just go, here's all the conversions. This is what's actually converting for us. Figure out what the natural kind of ROAS is for those products, and then you can go ahead and play around with the targets or the maximized conversion value, etc. So
I absolutely agree with that. Starting with what I call the maximize strategies, so like max conversions or max conversion value. If for some reason you don't have conversion tracking max clicks, but just get conversion tracking and do it. And then once there's enough data to learn, flipping on to the next level to take your campaigns to the max. Let's see. We have a question. What is the name of your YouTube channel? I'm the Google Pro on YouTube. I have the same username over there. Liam, are you on YouTube as well?
I have, but I haven't uploaded yet. I've started to get some followers that have just naturally come over from TikTok, which is kind of exciting. We are planning to start doing some longer form content within the agency, which is pretty exciting, 10, 15-minute videos. So eventually we will get there, but I've just been so busy with all this client work and kind of building this business up that I haven't actually gotten around to it. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And so Joe here, who has the pest control business, said, I had someone doing my ads and they said it would take 3 months to pick up. Would you agree?
Um,
We're both doing the same thing.
Right. So the great thing about Google Ads is that it is instant. You know, you can go ahead and turn it on. Now, when I say that, that's kind of it's kind of telling you a lie at the exact same time. Just because we're getting traffic doesn't mean it's the exact traffic that you want, and it's not going to be profitable for you. It can take up to 3 months to go ahead and dial it in and make sure it's actually the traffic you want at the right price, and that's what they're probably referring to. But if it's saying for it to pick up, you should be getting traffic straight away. You're literally standing in front of Google saying, hey, I want those clicks. Here's my dollars. Take them. You know, so.
But that is a really important. I'm actually, in a way, depending how they worded it, Joe, glad they said that to you, because I think sometimes freelancers or agencies do a disservice when they're like, Google Ads is instant right away. And you made such a great distinction there, Liam. Like, the traffic is instant. That doesn't mean that the conversions and the profitability are instant, and that can take time. And so that person doing your ads is probably trying to do some expectation setting with you, not to come hounding them on day 3 of like, why is my ROAS so bad?
Yeah, exactly. So within my own agency, we actually have a 3-month minimum of people coming on board, because people do get scared within those first few months and they see that traffic kind of going up and down and those kind of things. But also at the end of that 90-day period, we have like 100% money back guarantee, which is kind of cool. So if you're not getting results by the end of it, we would literally just give you back every single cent that you've invested with us, you know, and that just kind of makes people feel a whole bunch more secure about the decision to go ahead and advertise on Google.
Well, and it makes it like it's your money, because in a way it is your money they're spending, right? If it's not theirs. So it's very cool. Women's Mobile Medical says, I have a small budget for advertising. Is Google advertising worth it for a women's health clinic? Really depends how you define worth it. Were you going to say the same thing?
I said, define small budget, because I've had people say, I've got a small budget of $50,000 a month, and then I've had people that come and say, I've got a small budget of $500 a month. So a little bit more information on that. But
we have another digital marketer in the house, Liam. Todd Maffin is here and sent a request, so I'm just adding him to our live. Yep. Hey, Todd, thank you for joining us.
Hello. I don't know if you can see me or anything, or hear me.
We can hear you. We can't see you, but I'm loving this role reversal. You get to be a guest on my live instead of being a guest on your podcast.
Exactly. I'm on my my evening walk, so I just thought I would say hello.
Wonderful. Well, for those who don't know Todd today in digital, he runs the best digital marketing podcast, 8 minutes a day digital marketing news. I hate podcasts, and it's the only one I actually listen to. So there's an endorsement for you. I don't listen to any podcast except that one. And it's a great way to stay in the loop. Todd and Liam, I'm not sure if you two know each other or like TikTok know each other.
I recognize the Clique Agency's name. I think you've been in a couple of my lives before or something like that.
I have been, but I am an avid listener to the podcast, actually. How's the hot tub?
It's excellent. Yesterday we learned all about spa chemicals, and I decided that it was too much information. I'm going to leave it to my wife, who has a degree in cell biology, so she can handle the chemicals.
There you go. Well, wrapping up, Women's Mobile Medical is saying $250 a month. I would probably say don't spend that on Google Ads. I don't think it's going to drive any kind of results, regardless how you define what's worth it to your business.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, probably what I'd say there. Next week is big news in the Google Ads world, right? Is that next week, Google Marketing Live? Yeah.
Is it next week?
Or the week after?
Yeah, I think it might be. I think it's the week after, I think.
May 24th.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the 2-4 weekend.
May 24th. Yeah, it's a week from today. Google Marketing Live is a week from today. And for those who don't know who are watching this live or watching replay later, I call it like the Super Bowl of the Google Ads world, or the Oscars of the Google Ads world. It's the big event where Google tells us all the changes that are coming to Google Ads over the next year. So for example, Performance Max, which we spoke about earlier, really only launched to all advertisers in like January, February, but that was announced at Google Marketing Live last year. So I'm wondering, Liam, do you have any guesses or wishes for anything you're hoping to see at Google Marketing Live this year?
Honestly, I'm more reactive to Google goes ahead and manages it. Kind of rumors come through.
And then Todd, we're getting a lot of feedback from you. Are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was picking that up. I will leave then because I'm walking on the side of a road. So I will leave and continue to listen.
Thanks for popping in with us, Todd.
You bet. Bye
bye. Yeah, but I hear a whole bunch of different rumors come through the rumor mill, essentially through the blogosphere, and then all of a sudden, broad match modifier is gone. Okay, cool, perfect. Just deal with it straight away and move on to the next thing. So I always like to listen to, Google Marketing Live and those kind of things, but I don't really react until I kind of see the changes in my accounts, at the end of the day. So how about yourself? Have you got anything exciting?
I don't have inside scoop this time around. I've been out of Google more than a year now, so I knew what was coming last year. I don't actually know what's coming this year. I am hoping for and thinking we're going to see more features with Performance Max. I think we're going to start to see a bit more reporting and transparency, not the level that people would probably want. I'm totally fine with that, by the way. But I think we're going to get a little more information there about what's actually happening behind the curtain. I think YouTube ads are due for a giant overhaul. The creation process is confusing. Every year they rename the things. Is it an in-stream or an out-stream or a sequential? Like, it's just a total cluster. So I don't know if they will, but I have a hope that they'll do something to just overhaul the way we buy YouTube ads. It feels like the forgotten stepchild backwaters of Google ads.
One we do want is negative keywords for performance max campaigns. That would be a godsend. You know?
Yes, you can do it if you have a Google rep.
Yes.
If you have like a dedicated Google rep, they can manually add. But like even that, as someone who worked at Google, I feel comfortable saying that's like a very un-Googly thing. Like normally Google Ads is all about democratization. And so the fact that certain people have this killer feature that others don't because they spend more, I understand why there aren't negative keywords. I think people over negative keyword their accounts and it throttles the automation. But yeah, I would like to see that.
The only reason I do want it is to go ahead and have my own branded campaign. So I have the branded campaign and then a performance max campaign, which is kind of the work engine going out to all the different marketing channels. And then you've got remarketing on top of that as well. So you're kind of layering on this. But a lot of people want to know how much is going towards brand and non-brand searching and sales. So that would make my life a hell of a lot easier as an agency owner and people coming up to me on a daily basis. Like, how much are we spending on brand? How much are we spending on this? How much are we spending on that? And it's just kind of a black, and I can't give that information to you. Hey, I know it's working, but I don't really know where it kind of is.
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, one other prediction I have, and I haven't seen this anywhere else, is I think discovery campaigns are going to go away. I know Google's killed off Smart Shopping and killed off Local and just folded them into Performance Max. I just have a feeling they're going to do the same to Discovery, and Discovery is now the only way to get Gmail ads. And for those that don't know who are watching this, discovery campaigns are like a display campaign, but it only serves on Google's own inventory. And I find the traffic quality usually much higher. I feel like those might go away. And then, okay, one more prediction I have that they've like sort of confirmed at I/O, but not, is having an equivalent to the Facebook ads library. Google is coming out with more features to show users why you saw this ad and give users control over their data. I don't know if they would, but I hope we get some kind of Facebook ads library feature where once you look at an advertiser, you could actually see all the ads they're running. I think that would be really, as an advertiser, I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah, that would be absolutely killer. I know there is a little down arrow, and you can kind of get a little bit of information about this ad, but there's no library where you can kind of search up other advertisers. I'm actually spending a whole bunch of money on this platform called PPC Ad Lab, and it literally gives you the ability to go out to the search engine and type in the keywords in this location, and it will go and copy and paste the ads for you. So you can do that competitive research, which is out there. But that library would kind of save me a mint and be amazing.
Yeah, and it's like there's precedent. Facebook does it. Even if they started with just like a YouTube ads library, like I get why search can be it's so personalized and dynamic and whatever, but like a YouTube ads library, a display ads library, a discovery ads library, I would love that. So I think that would be really cool. A girl can dream. You see another recommendation here for a tool. Yeah, pulling in search ads from a domain. Actually, when you're at Google, it's really helpful because you can actually see all the search ads. So if I wanted to do research, I could look up a keyword in a specific place and see like everyone who entered that auction and which ones would have won the auction and which didn't win the auction and which ad they would have gone in with. And yeah, and Google My Business too, Joe does well. Yeah, Google Business Profile, Google My Business, absolutely great. Well, we'll have to wrap up shortly because it's getting to be late where I am now. But Liam, anything else you wanted to chat about today that we didn't cover?
No, I've had a really fun time, actually. I was pretty excited to kind of jump on here and have a chat with you, just because I don't get much human interaction.
I know. Reaching out. No, it's been an absolute pleasure to get to chat with you. as well. This is the beauty of the For You page, bringing strangers together from across the globe to share their love of Google Ads. So thank you to all of you for joining us here live, or for those of you who are watching this replay on YouTube right now. I'm Jill, the Google Pro. If you want to learn more about me, my website is jyll.ca. That's jyll.ca. And I'm here with Liam of Clique Agency, who I'm guessing your website is clique.agency?
Clique.agency. Clique.agency. Just like the username, throw it in the address bar.
Perfect. And if you joined late and missed the beginning, no worries. This whole video will be on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/c/the Google Pro. So you can catch the whole thing there. Liam, thanks again. We'll have to do this again soon.
Beautiful. Thanks so much.
Have a good one. Bye.